Hey, what's up guys? John here. Listen to this man, 300,000 followers on TikTok. He's a migrant that moved here to America, advising his entire audience, all of his followers, to take over properties. And what he's saying is to move in these properties and you can essentially become the new owner. And you'll be able to sell these properties down the road because of landlord-tenant law. I mean, listen to him. This post alone has 572,000 views. Just this one. And it was reposted 2,100 times. Listen to the tone in his voice. Tell me if you think he's joking.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en U.S.A. Ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en U.S.A. también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas. Ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos. Y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ellas y si podemos venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes?
570,000 views. Now, this handyman, they call him the squatter handyman, right? The squatter hunter. He said a nightmare scenario when migrants catch on to housing laws. This came out February 23rd. I have a feeling they've caught on because this one post got 500-something-thousand views and it was retweeted 2,100 times and it's all over TikTok, tens of millions of views. What we're going to be walking into is this situation on steroids. You know, in Atlanta, they've already taken over 1,200 homes. Not just, migrants. I'm talking squatters as a whole, 1,200 homes. We're going to walk into this situation as all of these cities begin cutting their funding, one city after the next. Denver already did it. You have Chicago have already done it. You have New York City. You have San Francisco. You have Los Angeles. You have all these cities are doing this. Where are people going to live? They're going to live in vacant homes. And on top of that, there's some even bigger changes. So where it's not just vacant homes, it's all single-family homes, primary residences, suburban America. I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to give you the facts to help you and position you for what I think is going to be a really big change in America. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in America's economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you. At my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow. Take a look at this. So, in Denver, they're asking property owners to rent to migrants, right? The Mile High City Migrant Services issued an email this week to property owners in an area seeking assistance in housing the city's newcomers to get them out of shelters and into more stable housing. We put out a feeler to all the landlords that we have connections with. Joe Ewing, Denver Human Services, told KDVR. Basically said, listen, we're going to have some newcomers who are going to need housing. The department emailed Gage renter owners interested in opening the listings to migrants. And they have a $2,000 rent cap. So they're giving $2,000, offering $2,000 to house migrants, right? That's in just Denver. Then you have Michigan. Michigan's new growth plan opened homes to refugees. This came out February 22nd. So you mark the dates, February 22nd, March 7th, within a 2-week window. And what they're doing is the Growing Michigan Together Council final report in December described migration as a bright spot for Michigan's population numbers. While 7% of Michigan residents are foreign-born, according to the latest census data, the council said that share could double in the next 26 years. Last week, Michigan Chief Growth Officer Hillary Doe described migration as the green light in Michigan's population story, the one number going up. The SEMCOG report last year found that 14,000 people aged 64 or younger left Southeast Michigan each year between 2010 and 2019, while 14,000 born arrived annually. So you see what's happening in Denver. You see what's happening in Michigan. Now in Massachusetts and Boston. As migrants arrive in Massachusetts, volunteers step up to offer housing. The host home model offers migrants a safe place to stay as they settle into more permanent housing. Find out how you can host a migrant in your home. In 2018, Winchester couple Bruce and Linda Alexander floated the idea of hosting a refugee, asylum seeker, or migrant in their home. They were both retired, albeit still actively involved in volunteer, is Bruce's case, and a part-time ESOL educator in Linda's case. For migration advocacy groups, importantly, they had enough space in the 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath home. But it wasn't until they received an urgent phone call from the director of resettlement agency asking them if they'd be interested in temporarily hosting a middle-aged woman, asylum seeker from Uganda, that they became a home host. All of a sudden, boom, and 24 hours later, she's walking up to the front door escorted by a woman who called us, and we took her into our home. So it happens really, really quickly. And they say in more cities, states ask private residents to house migrants amid overwhelming numbers. Now, as they begin to cut this funding, what do you think is going to happen? What would you think that is going to happen? If there's millions of people that had a place to live, and now they don't have a place to live, where are they going to live? Are they going to live under a bridge? No, they're not. They're going to find shelter. They're going to find shelter some way, somehow. And I personally believe what we're going to start to see unfold here in America is a situation as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. People become more desperate for money. Homeowners become more desperate for money. And they'll begin to, take small, bits of money to rent a bedroom, to house a family, to house someone. And this is going to become more and more and more normalized. That's going to happen in certain demographics. Then we're going to have a situation where a lot of people that own second homes, that second home that's vacant, that could be housed by a squatter or a migrant or someone to take over that property. I believe we're going to see millions of properties taken over by squatters coming very, very soon in this affordability crisis. So several liberal cities and states have been expanding ways in dealing with the surge of migrants coming to their jurisdictions, including asking residents to help house migrants to relieve pressures from the system shelter. So when you look at that, then you see 1,200 homes in Atlanta that have already been, look at this. Look what they're doing here. They're making money off of these homes. Then you see the real big story here is this scenario. Like in Beverly Hills, they took over a $5.5 million home in Beverly Hills, lived there for months. And, they were making a lot of money charging door fees to basically turn the home into a club. The squatters of Beverly Hills, and after a fugitive doctor abandoned his mansion, an enterprising group of party growers slid in the front door, right? So they slid in the front door, right down the street from LeBron James. House squatters took over a Beverly Hills mansion down the street from LeBron. Beverly Grove Place, a small outpost of Beverly Hills, is becoming a popular address for the rich and famous basketball superstars LeBron James building a house there, and celebrity couple Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck bought a $61 million compound there last year. Well, you could buy a home. It's probably going to take you a long time to buy a $50, $60 million home or $20 million home in LeBron's neighborhood, but you could move in there for free. And that's what a lot of people are going to start looking at. Because when you go on Zillow, for example, and you type in Beverly Hills, maybe you live in a different country. You cross the border, you had a place to live, and now you don't have a place to live. And then you ask yourself, well, where would you want to live? Probably want to live in a beautiful home, right? Well, why not live in the most beautiful homes? Why not go to Beverly Hills and just click around and look at homes that look like they were just built that no one's living in? For example, here, $30 million or $22,995,000. Doesn't look like anyone's living here. Looks like it's staged. The same thing is happening. All of these pictures, it's just so obvious when someone's living in a property and when someone's not. Here, $62 million, someone could, hypothetically see these images, right? And this is what's going to be happening across every single city in America. All of these beautiful homes, a lot of them were built by spec builders over the last, couple of years in this massive housing boom. Like a lot of these properties need to be secured. Like this looks like it's beautifully staged, right? And this is going to be the crisis. This is going to be the problem. Because if I were a property owner and someone were to have taken possession of one of my properties, if it was in Beverly Hills, for example, some $10, $20, $30 million home, and there's someone there, I'm writing the check to get them out of that house. Unfortunately, because I know the city's not going to back me up. And if I spend a fortune doing that property and renovating it or building it from scratch, the last thing I'd want to do is have a problem with someone in that property that I cannot relocate that could destroy it. And in this ever-changing real estate market, ever-changing economy, put me in a situation where I could lose everything over a scenario where I can't even show the property. I can't get buyers into a property because it's housed by squatters, right? This is the scenario that's unfolding. I mean, it's a sad day for America when property owners have very little rights over their own property. Look at this. It is unlawful for property owners in California to forcibly remove squatters by disconnecting utility services. So if someone does squat in your home in a place like California, you have to maintain gas, electric. You have to maintain all the utilities, everything. And if they live there for 5 years, if they occupy the property for at least 5 consecutive years, cultivate or improve the land. So think about this. Occupy the property for at least 5 years, period. Cultivate or improve the land or property, period. Pay all state and county and municipal taxes throughout the occupation, right? So you see the scenario we're walking into. We're walking into a really big problem for landlords, really big problem for property owners. I would advise everyone, if you have a property that's rented or that you're, have a tenant that's going to be soon moving out and you're thinking about listing it on apartments.com, on Zillow, on, any of these, websites, be very, very careful about the images in which you share. If that property is accessible through the front door right on the street level, I'd be really cautious about that. I might even put someone inside the home, maybe let them live there for free. That's a friend, a family member, somebody, just to watch that property to make sure you don't walk into a problematic scenario, especially if you're in California, if you're in any of these major cities, because all of these cities have the exact problem that this man right here is highlighting. And when I look at him in the first couple seconds of looking at his face, looking at the anger coming from his mouth, you can see that he's not joking around. Like, you can see clearly he's not messing around.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en U.S.A.
He looks very serious. And I think we're going to see a lot of people watch that video and get some ideas. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below. Again, if you have a property, I would just watch it. I'd be extra careful, especially if you live in any of these cities. Just guard your properties because city's not going to help you, unfortunately. At least that's what we've learned over the last couple of years. Let's have a conversation about this in the comments. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I think is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in American history, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow, and I'll catch you next video.